Anies Baswedan, Governor of Jakarta from 2019 to 2022, and Chair of the Urban 20, to the stage for a conversation with Ben Vickers, Chief Editor at BNEF. Thank you very much for joining us.
Well, it's a real pleasure to welcome Anies Baswedan to the Bloomberg NEF Summit in Bali.
Looking at the experience of Jakarta, we're facing complex challenge. Look, we have 11 million people, and we have 16 million registered motorized vehicles. So we have more motorized vehicles than people officially. Let's assume that it's 11 million people, 11 million motorized vehicles. How do we change that equations? I think one, this is a lesson learned, look at the root cause. What are the root cause there? And two, use all resources. So collaboration is key. And three, evidence-based policy, always. So these three things, let me elaborate a little bit. One, on the root cause. And it was mentioned earlier in the previous presentations. We have been adopting car-oriented development for decades. So we are transforming that into transit-oriented development in all aspects. We're happy to report here that we lay out the foundations, because that reform will take place for many, many years, not only in the 5 years. But we lay out the foundations of that reform. When we are talking about converting into transit-oriented development, it means one, spatial planning is being changed. And we did that. So we did the spatial planning change, but the result of the spatial planning change can only be seen in the next few years. Zoning regulations were reformed, permits for higher towers were given if you're near a train station, for example. And with that conversion, we are seeing tripling in terms of daily ridership. In 2016, 2017, daily ridership was about 350,000. Now it's 1 million per day. And when you are seeing 1 million people taking public transport every day, then they are leaving their cars, their two-wheelers behind. If we are able to double our fleet, it simply shows we have the fiscal capacity for procurement. But if you triple ridership, it means we're seeing change of behavior within our population. And that's what we're seeing, and that's what we're happy about. We have already reached the target of greenhouse gas emission much faster than what we planned to. We plan to reduce greenhouse gas emission in Jakarta 30% by 2030. And by now, we have already reached 26%. So we are 8 years to go, and we have only 4% more to reach. So we will be reaching our target faster, which also means we need to improve that. We were surprised to see the response of the public to the public transport. We didn't expect from 350,000 to 1 million within 3 years. We didn't expect that, to be honest. We saw a very positive response from the public. And with that trend, our original plan is to reach 4 million of daily ridership by 2030. However, looking at the trend, we're tripling in 3 years. I think we may be reaching 4 million daily ridership much faster. And on top of that, we're talking about electrifications of our public transports. All new procurement of buses in Jakarta has to be electric buses. So that's in line with your presentation earlier. And it has to be. And that's sort of the commitment.
Before when we were discussing this, you also mentioned something about opening up your bureaucracy. What was that process in Jakarta?
Yeah. Before I address that, before I address on the bureaucracy, let me respond to how do we execute in terms of these projects. In Jakarta, when we're doing things, we always outline there is 3 stages. One level is ideas, the second is narrative, 3 is executions or work. Okay? Why ideas and narrative is important? Because on issues such as environment, it requires everyone to get involved. We need everyone on board. And if we don't set our idea clearly, and we don't communicate our idea clearly, how can we get everyone on board on the execution level? Okay? And when it comes to having everyone on board at the execution level, the first thing is, one is the bureaucracy. We're managing 180,000 employees within our cities. Okay? And when it comes to public transport, we're talking about no less than 15,000 people involved in that sectors. We need to educate them about the importance of sustainable approach to transportation. And we translate that idea into narratives that everyone understands. For example, when it comes to public transport, I gather everyone on that sectors, having a meeting, and I ask simple questions. What kind of transportation tools that everyone has? And almost everyone said, two-wheelers. And I said, no, it's your foot. Walking, that's public transportation tools that everyone has. Therefore, we need to build sidewalks. We didn't have sidewalks in Jakarta for decades. And we didn't assume the walking as mode of transportations. So, idea, narratives, then executions. We don't have that clear idea what is mobility, what is transportation, and what kind of transportation activities that is there, then we may not be addressing everything. So, in the past 4 years, 5 years, we built 240 kilometers of sidewalks. That's require reforming the paradigm of our bureaucracy. Our bureaucracy used to think when it comes to public transport mobility, then it has to be motorized. If it is not motorized, then it is not urban mobility. But we are introducing two things, walking and cycling. We built no less than 100 kilometers of dedicated bike lanes. And we hope this continues. So the bureaucracy has to be reformed, not only by providing programs to be executed, but it has to start from educating new ideas and inviting them to be on board, living on the idea. The second is collaborating with the House of Representatives or the City Council, which is key. I think cities across the globe will have to work with the city councils and sell that idea early and give them some kind of idea what kind of city we will be having once all of this is adopted. The most challenging issue when it comes to our bureaucracy is to get used to adopt collaborations with other partners.